Hello, good morning. It's David again. Um, I was sent a interview, a TV interview with our wonderful acting president of the Quorum of 12 Apostles, Jeffrey Holland, where in 13 or so minutes, 14 minutes, he talks about all sorts of things, including uh, the task of the church, which is saving the world, which he concludes by saying is no small task. And in any case, being in love with Elder Jeffrey R. Holland as I am, I think he's an absolutely marvelous man, humble, real, gentle, kind, and carrying great authority. And now, according to his talk, Saturday morning, he has a special urgency to warmly warn uh, the world and the church, morning, noon, and night. And I think that comes out a bit in this interview with this TV reporter. In any case, it was sent to me, and I thought it would be kind to pass it on a bit. So here it is, and enjoy. Much love, David. See you again soon.
Well, this weekend, the 17 million members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are gathering. Thousands in Salt Lake City and millions more tuning into digital devices all around the world. They're all gathering to hear messages from their leaders at the Faith's annual General Conference. One of those leaders is President Jeffrey R. Holland, acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Now, it has been said that ideas go booming through the world like cannons. Thoughts are mightier than armies, and principles have achieved more victories than horsemen or chariots. So, inspiring ideas, transformational thoughts, and powerful principles. Those are exactly what the wordsmith of our time, Jeffrey R. Holland, has shaped, crafted, and sent out into the world for nearly 30 years. I sat down with President Holland in his office and asked him to reflect on lessons from his 30 years as a special witness of Jesus Christ to all the world.
30 years in a minute. So much has been the same, Boyd, and so much has been different. The gospel's still the same. My message to the public is still the same. My private feelings of inadequacy are still the same. I think when I was called and the wrestle that I had, I struggled. For the first 2 years, I apologized to everybody that I had this calling. I'd call people in off the street. I'd talk to the newspaper boy. I'd apologize to everyone. I finally was told to stop apologizing and get to work. So I really wrestled with inadequacy when I began, and I had the impression then that I'd match that feeling with the feeling of so many out in life, and their struggles with, in my case, feeling inadequate, but their loneliness or their difficulty, the sadness that might come, the tragedy to a family, I've spoken on mental illness. I just thought, well, maybe my mission is to talk about hope, to extend a hand to those who don't think there's any hand to be extended. The hand can be extended, but the rules can't be broken. So we have to juggle discipline and what the Lord has said and what He's asked us to do versus just a wide open loving heart and extended blessing. We'll just try to do both. I've tried to do both. I wasn't going to be Bruce R. McConkie or James E. Talmage. There were a lot of things I couldn't do, but maybe I could lift up the hands that hang down and strengthen feeble knees. Or so I've tried to do that.
Yeah. You've had it, especially over the last year, an added measure of earned empathy. Yeah. What have you learned in that process?
More humility in a year or a couple of years than I have had in my whole life. I suppose that means I'm supposed to have had it. I'm supposed to have been humble. but I've learned to yield and to understand that there are all kinds of things in our life we can't control, and that we need to just give over to God. And I've taught that all my life. I haven't always needed to do it. I've been a little too independent, a little too self-sufficient, I suppose. But now with neuropathy, I can't walk very gracefully, at least. And with kidney failure, I have to do much that I do in between dialysis sessions. So my life is very different than it used to be, and I've been required to accept that. It's the way life is going to be. I've taught that you hit the pitch that's thrown to you. Now suddenly I am not a pitcher, I'm a batter, and I have to hit what I've been given. So we'll make it do. We'll try to have faith and go as far as we can go for as long as we can go.
So you have been a student of words and a lot of the great wordsmiths throughout history, and have become a wordsmith for the word. But tell us about what you have learned from the philosophers, the great writers, the great thinkers, and how that has influenced your ministry as an apostle.
My mother encouraged me to go to the library. I had a library card in our little public library in St. George, and I started going in kindergarten, and I guess I've been figuratively or literally in the library ever since. What I've learned is certainly has become part of me, the great moral messages of the past. I think has become something of my ministry, to lace a little here or lace a little there in a gospel sermon with something I've read in the great literature of the world. Interestingly enough, I did a lot of that when I began. I do less and less of that now. I am more married to the scriptures now. Probably to the young people sound a little more fuddy-duddy, but all of the magic and marvel and wonder of the Word now comes to me from the Word, and I find myself not totally, but nearly exclusively teaching out of the scriptures in sermons now, and I'm not much inserted from Winston Churchill anymore, or people that I love.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. I can think of about 17 million around the world, and probably a million after that would refer to you as the wordsmith's wordsmith.
Well, thank you.
To go to. And in fact, I think there was one social media meme that said only President Holland could light a fire by rubbing two ice cubes together if they were words.
Well, that's kinder than whoever that was needed to be.
Well, you've been a part of some really important interfaith conversations. That's also been a part of your ministry. Why has that been so important?
I think that probably started in my BYU years. I've had long years with the Jewish community, primarily I think because of building the BYU Jerusalem Center. And I have all the scar tissue to show for that. But it was there that I became friends with a lot of Jewish voices in the Holy Land, and gathered some there. At the same time, we met some very fine Palestinians who represented part of the Arabic world in the Middle East, and I got a much better understanding of their issues and the things they hoped for. So that's probably where it began, and I've just continued it, and I've enjoyed it and been a better person by it, I think, to learn from them.
Yeah, no question about that. You're in a very unique perch and place right now in your ministry. You've had extraordinary leaders and apostles that have gone before you. Now you can look down to the members of the quorum you lead as acting president of the quorum of the 12 apostles. Give us something you've learned from those who've gone before, and then we'll get some perspective about those you're with now.
Oh, it has been my privilege, a privilege I never could have imagined, never could have guessed. Little kid running around in Washington County. It's been my privilege to sit at the feet of and shoulder to shoulder with the finest men on the face of the planet. Their kindness, their example, their patience, their humor, their bold, solid backbone and square shoulders, all of that, man after man and season after season, I've been able to enjoy and to feel and to be moved by. They have been so good to me, and I still feel it. I get a little emotional here just saying that much to you about what these men have meant to me for 35 years nearly. So I miss them and admire them and praise them. And now I have the same privilege with a much younger group coming along, and I love and admire them in the same way, who have the same qualities and affect me the same way.
Well, you've spent your ministry bringing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints out of obscurity. You've been part of that. What is it that you've had to hold on fiercely to, and what have you had to let go of as things change and as things evolve and grow?
That is part of the ongoing issue that we face every day of our lives. We have to define and keep redefining or keep seeking or keep drawing the boundary on what is gospel truth and what is culture. Culture with a capital C. That could be anybody's culture, but it's something that's not cut in stone. It's not in those tablets that Moses came down the hillside with. If those lines start to bump up against each other about what's a commandment and what is only, again I say, what is only culture, and we've had to decide, where do you yield and where don't you yield? Everything that we could offer, and offer genuinely and with heaven's support, our very calling, this chair, this office, means that I'm not free to offer what Christ would not say we could. So that's a day and night exercise to try to decide, where do we yield and where don't we? What can we offer and what can't we offer?
Well, let's conclude with really the essence of your role as an apostle. You've traveled the world and you've declared your witness. What would you, on this general conference weekend, where a large number are gathering here in Salt Lake City, but the vast majority of the members are gathering around cell phones and digital devices around the world, what would you have them think and know about the role of an apostle?
The ultimate role, the essential role, the focused and featured role of an apostle is to declare that Jesus is the Christ. We are called to be special witnesses of His name in all the world, and we're going to all the world. We have 35,000 congregations, and we have some kind of presence in, 180 nations. We teach the gospel in over 90 languages. Book of Mormon published in more than that. So we are going to all the world with that singular message that Jesus is the Christ, that this church is his church, that we are doing God's work. We're children of the living God, and it is his work and his glory and his power that allows us to do what we're doing now and will allow us to do what we do in the future, including saving the world. That's no small task, Boyd.